Welcome back to Setting the Right Foundation series. Today's episode is one of the most sensitive and one of the most misunderstood, topic in parenting, which is what discipline. Because for many parents, discipline, comes with fear. For many children, discipline comes with pain. And for many homes, discipline has created distance instead of growth. But discipline was never designed to destroy a child. Discipline was designed to shape a child. So today, we're talking about discipline without damage. How to correct your child firmly, wisely, and biblically without breaking their hearts or without making them a little bit traumatized. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. My name is Ako Ogoibe and I'm a faith-based parent strategy coach. I'm deeply passionate about helping children or helping families raise godly structured children who are equipped to thrive in this generation, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and morally. So we're going to be talking about why discipline is actually necessary. So let's begin with the truth. Children are not born knowing boundaries. They are not born knowing self-control. They are not born knowing, right from wrong. This is not, it's not wickedness. It's actually a developmental stage. So the role of discipline is to guide the child from impulse to self-control, from ignorance to understanding, from immaturity to responsibility. The Bible says in Proverbs 19:18, I've been quoting it severally, discipline your child while there is hope. Notice that discipline is described as hope, not harm. But discipline becomes damaging when parents misunderstand its purpose. So many parents discipline to release frustration, assert power, stop embarrassment, silence behavior. But biblical discipline is not about that's all of that. It's about building character. So what does discipline really mean? Let's redefine discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It's not punishment. Discipline is training with intentions. The word discipline comes from the same roots as disciple, to teach, to guide, to train. Hebrews 12:11 says, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness. That verse tells us two things. Discipline is uncomfortable. Discipline has a purpose. If discipline does not produce growth, understanding or correction, then it has missed its purpose. How does the way we discipline damage a child? Let's talk honestly about where things go wrong. The first point here is that discipline becomes emotionally driven instead of principle driven. When discipline flows from anger, it becomes unsafe. Many parents discipline when they are tired, they discipline when they are stressed, when they are overwhelmed, when they are triggered. And with that, the child is not being corrected for what they did or what he or she has done. They are being corrected for how the parent feels. James chapter 1 verse 20 reminds us that anger of a man does not produce righteousness of God. So anger may stop behavior, but it does not build understanding. It doesn't build understanding. The second point is that discipline attacks identity instead of addressing the behavior. This is very damaging. When parents say things like, you're stubborn, you are lazy, you never listen. The child stops hearing correction and starts hearing labels. All those are labels. Children grow into words spoken over them. That's why we need to be careful with our words, because Proverbs 18 verse 21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So healthy discipline talks about, this behavior is wrong. It's the behavior that is wrong. The third point is that discipline is inconsistent. We're talking about when discipline is wrong. In some homes, today the behavior is ignored, tomorrow is punished, next time is laughed at. Children don't learn rules, they just learn unpredictability. And unpredictability produces anxiety. A child should not be confused about what is acceptable in their own home. They should know what is acceptable in this house, in their home. So what is the God model of discipline? What are God's standard? God disciplines his children, yet he does not damage them. So let's observe the pattern. God gives instruction, God gives warning, God allows consequences, and then he offers restoration. Psalms 103 verse 13 says, as the father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. Compassion does not cancel correction. Compassion does not cancel correction. Correction does not cancel compassion either. So healthy discipline holds both. So how do we discipline without this damage? So we've learned all of that. Let's just be practical about it. Number one point is correct calmly, not publicly. Public correction humiliates. Yes, it humiliates, while private correction educates. So whenever possible, remove the child, from the audience and speak to them privately. Respect preserves relationship. Number 2 point is you explain the why, not just the what. Children need understanding, not fear. Instead of stop that down, explain the behavior is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. Why? Because you state it. Understanding builds internal discipline. Understanding builds internal discipline. Number 3 point, let consequences be clear and consistent. Children should know beforehand. What rules exist? What happens if it is broken? If it is broken, there shouldn't be threats, no surprises, no emotional escalation here and there. Consistency builds trust. I keep saying it. Number 4, always restore after discipline. This is when many of us actually experience fail after correction. We need to reassure the love. We need to affirm identity. We need to reconnect emotionally. So say things like, I love you even when I correct you, right? You need to understand that. The child gets to understand. So you let the child know that this correction does not change, how you feel about your child. Do you understand? So discipline without, restoration creates distance. Okay, so now, how do we discipline by age? I'll just run through it. Ages 0 to 5. You discipline here, there's redirection, not punishment. Children are learning, they are learning causes and effects, calm repetitions, gentle firmness, clear routines. At this stage, discipline teaches safety. At ages 6 to 12, now that discipline now becomes training. Children can understand consequences. They can understand responsibility. So this stage builds self-control. Ages 13 to 19, discipline shifts to guardians and accountability. Yes, it shifts to guardians and accountability. Teenagers, this is a teenage phase. They need conversation, not shouting. They need to be boundaries, not threats. Trust with accountability. Discipline here prepares them for independence. All right, in the next episode, we will talk about something every structured family must master. And that is what? Communication and connection. How to build strong emotional bonds in a structured home. Because structure without connection becomes harsh, and connection without structure becomes very chaotic. So if this episode helped you, please like, subscribe, and share with another parent, with someone who might need it. I always want you to remember that discipline is not about control. It's about preparing a child to stand well in life. I'll see you in the next episode.
Family is a blessing we hold dear.